I have no comment on Alonso. If you guys have a status report on De La Garza and Sarvis, then I will give you a status report on Alonso. Okay, so we'll just move past that subject.
All right. What about Lamar?
Huh? No. Not talking about any of our injured guys.
What benefit do you guys have as far as being able to play on this turf all the time and also coming out here today and getting some extra practice on it?
It's not as big an advantage as people think. I mean, obviously we play our home games on turf, but other teams as well play on turf. Sometimes I think the turf hurts our game because, speed is a big part of our game. The ball doesn't hold up on turf. So sometimes that's why, if you notice, we've scored a fair amount of goals away from home, so playing on grass definitely helps us. I think the Galaxy, well, not this Galaxy, I think a lot of teams make a big thing out about, playing on turf. Is it ideal? No. Would you rather play on a good grass surface? Yes. Would you rather play on turf than a bad grass surface? Yes. So it all works out.
In a lot of sports, sometimes it's said that there are reserve players who, if pushed into duty, can come in and fill in really well for a game or two, but if they have to stay in the lineup too long, they get exposed. At times over the years, that's been said of Zach Scott. Was it ever true of him? Is it true of some players? And particularly, what has Scott shown you now where he sort of seems to be showing up in your lineup pretty regularly?
Well, he's just, Zach's just been a lot more consistent in his preparation. Sometimes he was the kind of guy that sometimes overtrained, and that would cause him sometimes to wear down over a period of time because he would keep up his overtraining when he was playing games. And so when he's not playing games and he's training that much, it gets him ready for the games because he's not in the 90 minutes. But what ended up happening in past seasons is he'd get in and he'd have a string of 5, 6, 7 games maybe, and he would still train the same way, and then he would basically wear himself out. So I think he's learned that. He understands, hey, okay, I'm in the lineup, so here's what I got to do at training and to be ready to play the next week.
How big is the pressure on the team to win this weekend?
Just as big as the pressure is on the Galaxy. Pressure is equal. We know that, we have to win the game in order to get to MLS Cup, and our goal is to get to MLS Cup, and we're excited that we're able to play at home, because our fans are going to be here, and our fans are going to give us that little bit extra edge that we need at certain times.
The last time you guys played here in the regular season, obviously able to keep them off the board. I know that they were missing a couple players, but what was it that you were really liking about your defense that day?
It was a game where we gave away too much possession, I think to a certain extent. But again, I thought defensively we were solid. I thought we were solid defensively down in LA. I think the last 3 times we've played them, we've been pretty consistent defensively. So we have to maintain that consistency, but certainly we also need to do a better job attacking and get our attack into scoring goals right now.
If De La Garza and Sarvis aren't able to go, what is it that will be missing from LA's game?
Those are important players to their team. De La Garza is a guy who can play a number of different positions, and Sarvis, I've said before, is one of the most underrated players in the league.
Another disciplined performance from DeAndre. How do you think that he played on Sunday, and do you expect him to have a little bit more freedom to push forward this weekend?
He's always had the freedom to push forward. It's up for him to read the game. I think he's doing a much better job of reading the game and making sure he takes care of his defensive responsibilities as well as getting into the attack. I read someplace that, I don't know which game they watched or what tape they watched, that he only had 4 touches in the attacking half of the field. I beg to differ on that. He had more. I'd like to see him get ultimately to the end line a little bit more often, but that's something that he knows, and something we've talked about. So he's gotten himself into positions. Now he's just got to get those final yards. But I think his willingness to come forward, his willingness to attack really hasn't changed. I think he's just doing a better job of reading the opportunities. And it's more effective to make 10 good runs forward and be effective 6 times than to run forward 20 times and only be effective 4 or 5.
Last couple times these two teams have seen each other. It's been kind of a chippy game, been very physical. Are you expecting the same here?
Yeah, I think they're a physical team. I know they're trying to paint us as a physical team, but I think they're the kind of team that if you string together 3-4 passes in midfield, somebody's going down. They're not going to let you get into a counter-attacking situation. That's the way Sarvis plays. That's the way Juninho plays. And they're very smart that way, and they know how to pick up that tactical foul along the way. I think they were very fortunate that Omar on the foul he committed on Dempsey didn't pick up a yellow card, because that's a yellow card foul because Dempsey's breaking through on that play. So they were able to retain his services for this week. So it's definitely going to be a physical game, just because these are two teams competing and trying to do well.
How key is it to score first and to score early?
Well, it's important not to give up a goal. That's important. But scoring first is always important in any game, so it doesn't change for this game, and the earlier we can get a goal, the more it shifts the pressure, or the more it shifts the dynamic of the game.
How delicate is that balance between being aggressive because you have to have one, but not opening yourself up to too much counter?
It's a balance for sure, but it's one that we're aware of, and I think we can manage. And so we have to be smart about it. And but on the same token, we got to make sure that we execute. And I think if we execute and keep possession of the ball, it'll work out.
Back maybe a little to your opening statement. Do you think that there's anything that the league could do to assure a little bit of equality in terms of secrecy and openness with regard to injured players?
I think it's up to each club. I think we're very open in terms of allowing you guys into practice, and we're open in terms of talking every day. And other clubs don't do that. So, but that's an individual club policy. I don't think the league. I mean, the league can mandate, a couple of. That you have to do so many press conferences a week or something, or I could bring a cutout of Brian Schmetzer out here with me, and we could do the Richard Sherman routine amongst the coaching staff, But or I could bring Bruce's cutout, and I could pretend I'm Bruce, and I could give him his done, and he could do my press conferences. So, but it's something that's an individual club thing, I think. I don't know what the league rules are. Alex might know better than me.
There's so many great matchups in every third of the field. Is there a specific one that really sticks out to you?
No, I mean, it's just a matter of we have to do a better job of having more of the possession than we had in the last game. That's the most important thing for us.